Renting instead of buying is sometimes the wiser choice.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
We are honored that we've been able to create for you free access to 737 Life's Inside Track episodes where we share insider tips, making house home, and building wealth wisely through real estate. Renting, such a hot topic these days, as we said in the previous section, because there's so much promotion saying, rent, it's easier. Don't ever buy. It's too complex. It's too crazy. It bogs you down. It's bad.
Yeah, and I want to be careful because there's no shame in renting.
None,
right?
Please.
And there's purpose in renting. And I think renting isn't a mistake. Sometimes it can become a mistake if it's long-term without a plan. There's no plan to get out of it. Like we rented when we first started, when we got married, we rented a 1-bedroom apartment, then a 2-bedroom apartment, then a 3-bedroom garden home, right?
Yeah.
And our first purchase was a small townhome. But the point is, renting, even our life changed, right? We added children, we added stuff. We did a lot of buying of stuff, which was not a good thing.
Yeah, we don't want you to follow our example because we got it all wrong at the beginning.
But because, you said I like math.
Yeah.
And I was running the math on what we were paying for rent, how much we were paying per year. And then, how many years did we rent for? Like 3, 4, 5?
3.
Yeah. Was
just
it 3?
under, right around 3.
Okay. So I added up those amounts of rent we paid over those years. And that's when it gave me the enough pain, the kick in the butt, so to speak, to go, oh, well, let's start saving for a down payment. Right. Let's do this right, because I had the itch to own.
And you knew it was going to get more complicated.
What was going to get more complicated?
Well, now all of a sudden we had to take care of our own furnace. We had to take care, right? We had to take care of our own things. So there was going to be a little more complexity. Yeah. And you also realized that the townhouse we were last renting and the townhouse we bought, I think our payment, if I remember the math correctly, and knowing I'm not such a big math person, actually went down a little bit.
Yeah,
based on it did.
We went out of province to get a cheap place. So
right. It went down.
Okay. And what I was going to say is those complexities didn't bother me because I grew up in a household, you did as well, where our parents owned the house. Mm-hmm. We watched what they had to do to maintain it, look after it, fix the furnace or change the furnace or whatever. Yes, there was some minor inconveniences when things needed to be done, but it wasn't like that tore down the house. It didn't tore down our financial house. It didn't cause us not to have a good lifestyle.
Right. And we were also those tenants that refinished floors in an apartment that we didn't own. We were those tenants that repainted the walls in lighter colors. We were those tenants. And so we know a lot of tenants that improve the property that they're living in. Mm-hmm. Always get permission before you do that, though.
Yes.
Because sometimes the landlord doesn't want you to do what you perceive as an improvement.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And yet we were those tenants. So we were already spending money on upkeep.
Yeah.
In some of the rental places that we were in.
Right. And we do not want people to feel overpressured to buy instead of renting.
Don't buy too early.
There are so many times that we guide people and renting is the right thing for them, when they're just here maybe temporarily. Mm-hmm. They think their job posting here is for 2 years or 3 years. It may not make sense to buy because the cost to buy and then resell and all of that, unless your employer is covering that, like a military move or a government move or something.
Then 3 years probably still makes sense.
Then it may make sense.
Right.
But if you're covering all that, it may make sense to just rent.
Or if you're new to an area, new to the city of Ottawa, and you don't know whether you want to be in Orleans or whether you want to be in Winchester or whether you want country living or city living or whether you want to be right in town on easy transit. If you don't really have a feel for the city, renting for a year can make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or you're getting free rent in your parents' basement or something. Now, parents, your kids are going to hate us for this, but maybe they'll love you in the end. Charge them rent. Charge your kids, not when they're in school, not when they're in university, but when they go out, they finish school or they quit school, and our kids got, what did they get? Was it
6
3 months
months?
or 6 months?
6 months.
It was 6 months. They had 6 months
After school.
to either go back to school or get a job and pay rent. And it was very efficient of having the kids leave the house when they should be, when they're young adults starting to learn on their own, right? And both our kids went out and bought something.
Right.
Now, one of them bought with somebody and one of them bought an investment property. But
that he lived in the furnace room and he was still in college. And he'd had the example of his older sister doing it. So, and he was ready. He was ready to be on his own. You could tell when somebody shouldn't really be in your house anymore. I mean, we love them both. They're great kids. They've worked with us for 15 years each or longer than that, Candace. And so we love working alongside our kids and being involved in their lives, and that we all live close by and work close by, like together. And having said that, it was time for them not to be under our roof.
Yeah. And we worked with a young lady a while back, and she had super low rent. She'd been renting for quite a long time. She liked where she was renting, liked the unit. It suited her needs. She wasn't expanding her family or anything. It suited what she wanted, but she also wanted to build wealth. And she knew that real estate was one of the greatest ways to do that. So she stayed in her rental unit and bought an investment property, which she rented out to somebody else.
I love that. And even CMHC, which is Central Mortgage and Housing Corporation for Canada, says renting, short-term especially, makes a lot of sense if you're in a transient type position or you're building your income right now. You're just starting out, and your income is about to increase significantly over the next year or 2 years or 3 years. Wait maybe till that happens. Or if you're saving down payment, there are good reasons to stay in a rental short term and some long term.
Yeah. And what we're saying here is it's not bad to rent. And when you're renting, have a plan. Like, go, okay, what length of time do I think I'm going to rent? Maybe I need to save up the down payment. And so is that going to be 2 years? Is that going to be 1 year? Is that going to be 5 years? Like, what time is it going to take me? Am I going to be able to get some promotions at work? That kind of thing. A lot of people end up buying when they get connected with a partner. Right? Because now they're buying power doubles.
Right.
And it makes sense to drop 2 rentals and go buy something.
Right.
So there are times to rent. Sometimes students, you're renting just a room in a house. That's not a bad thing either.
That's a great thing. So really what we're suggesting is pick up the phone or go to dekkerteam.com website, book a clarity call to figure out whether renting is a step or whether it's a stall. Because we'll help identify which of those it is.
Yeah. M.H. McKee says, wisdom is knowing the right path to take. Integrity is taking it. So we're glad that we were able to clarify your options, because when your options are clear, your wisdom will flow.
And really what we're saying in this next section is it a long-term solution, or are you getting stuck in short-term logic that's misplaced?
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward.